Hello everyone, I am back today for Creating with Sketches. This is a collaboration that I do with a bunch of amazing YouTubers. I'm going to be working with my Crafty Meraki products. So I believe all three of the die sets that I am using are from the recent retreat kit and then the 6x8 paper pad. And I will have everything linked up in the description box below. We're going to be working with those beautiful flower photos. These are pictures of my irises, and I have a huge amount of cardstock. So I matched the cardstock, mostly scraps, to the colors in this Color Cascade paper pad. I'm going to use those dies that I just showed you, and we're going to create a whole bunch of beautiful die cuts for our page. Today we are all working with sketch number 1, and this would be the 1-page sketches. I am using a mashup of option number 3 and option number 14 for my layout today. So if you have that sketch bundle, you can kind of take a peek. I'm using a kind of like the background for sketch number 3, but then the rest of my elements I am using sketch option number 3 and option number 14. I have my little cheater stopper there on my trimmer. That's going to make sure that all of my squares are the same size, and I am cutting 9 squares, and each square is 3 by 3. You can also see off on the upper right hand portion of the screen all those die cuts. I die cut loads of embellishments. I haven't put them together yet, but we're going to do that on camera as soon as I get done cutting all the squares. The first die that I'm using is called Emperor Wings. This die set, this butterfly die, has 3 layers for the wings, and then there's also a piece for the body. I did coordinating cardstock for the back 2 layers of my butterflies, and then for each of the top layers I went ahead and die cut from the pattern paper, and now I'm just going to layer them up. They layer up super easy. And while this die set came in the recent retreat kit for the Crafty Meraki Scrapbooking Social, you can also get it separately on their website. It's a gorgeous butterfly die set. I really love it. It just makes the prettiest butterflies, and they come together really nice and simple. The other 2 die sets I used were the Laurel Leaf and the Emma Flowers. Both of those die sets are not layered dies, so that is going to make things really easy. Although the little flowers in the Emma dies, I did layer them up just for some extra interest, and you're going to see that in a little bit here. First, for this layout, I need to find the center of my page and then get the center square for the grid we're going to do onto my scrapbook page. This is going to, if I can get the first one right, the rest of them will go through very easily and kind of just fit together perfectly. And I did find the center of my scrapbook layout using a T-square ruler, which was really helpful. And then because I had that little stopper on my trimmer, as you can see, all of these squares are gonna line up perfectly. And aren't these patterns just gorgeous? Next, I want to mat my photos. So I'm going to mat each of the photos. I added to my iris bed this year. So I always have purple irises. Those purple irises were my grandmother's. She brought them with her when her and my grandfather moved into our house with us. And they are still there. In fact, since she has passed away, I thinned out the beds and actually gifted more of her purple irises to other members of my family. And then last year I added these lovely kind of mauvey pink ones, and this year I got some white ones. So that's lovely. We'll see how they do. The sketch calls for 2 large corner pieces of flowers and foliage on this layout. So I'm going to start with my largest foliage elements, which are these laurel leaves. I cut them from 2 different colors of green cardstock. And then to make the Emma flowers look a little bit fuller, I took 2 different shades of cardstock and I'm layering them together. So I'm putting a darker shade in the back, a lighter shade in the front, and just kind of offsetting them. So then those flowers, instead of just being a 5-petal flower, they become a 10-petal flower. And I really, really think it adds quite a lot of detail to them. And it was super easy to do. I just had all these little flowers and I just glued them together with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, just like that. And they are the next piece that I'm going to add to my layout. I apologize for the sunlight in my video. I had opened the window, so directly in front of my desk where I scrapbook, directly in front of it is this big, huge window. And I do tend to leave it open. When I scrapbook, I just love to be able to look out. I have a flowering pear tree that's outside my window, and I do really enjoy just having that little bit of nature in my scrapbook room. But there does come a point, depending on what time I film, where the sun is going to come into the room. And I just happened to hit it on this day. And it never even dawned on me that the sunlight was going to be in my window or, in my filming until at some point as I'm putting all these flowers down, I noticed it and closed the blind. So I apologize for that. At the same time, I think it's pretty lovely that you can see like the wind blowing the leaves and such. That's not the worst thing in the world, right? After I tucked all the flowers in, I'm just adding the last little bit of leaves to really fill out these 2 corners, since those are where the main embellishment is. Now I'm going to take these butterflies and I'm going to move them around a little bit. So I don't want them to cover all of the flowers, right? But I do recognize that they will have to cover, they're pretty large. They're a pretty large kind of embellishment. So I'm going to try to do it so that they feel like they are part of those flower clusters, but also that they're not covering up all the flowers, if that makes sense. Next, I want to go ahead and work on my title. So I have put the other 2 butterflies down using that huge roll of foam tape that you can see in the upper left-hand corner of my screen. And I want to get my title into place before I add the last butterfly. I am going to have to Frankenstein and cut apart a couple letters because I am running out of this alphabet. This is a alphabet from Pink First Studio. It is like a matte gold, super pretty. But and I've actually gotten quite a few titles out of it, so I cannot complain on that in that regard. These have done their job very well, and they're very sticky. They stick right down, so that's awesome. They sort of are like everything you could ask for in a puffy letter sticker. So we're good. But I'm going to get the title down before I pop up that last butterfly with the foam tape. And this foam tape is that foam tape from Brutus Monroe. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but the roll, you guys, is so huge. I don't know how many layouts I'm going to get out of it. I should have maybe started counting, but loads and loads and loads and loads. It's like the foam tape roll that keeps on giving forever. I found 2 gold foiled embellishment pieces that I'm going to add to the layout as well. These were part of, I believe, the main retreat kit. I have made a couple layouts with these kits from Crafty Meraki now, and most of them are all mixed up together. So I'm not sure which was the main retreat kit and which was the add-on. I know the dies I used today are from the add-on, but I think the paper pad and these Pink for Studio die cuts are from the main kit. But I will link individually each of these products up in the description box for you, and I will also link up that amazing foam from foam tape. For my last addition to this layout, we're going to go with Sequin. So I have the Love Captured Sequin Mix from Spiegel Mom Scraps. If this mix is still available, it will be linked up in the description box below. And you can always use my code to receive an extra discount on your order. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a couple of the different colors that match the flower colors, and I am going to add a sequin center to each of the flowers in both the clusters. So if the center of the flower was visible, if I could see the center of the flower, it's getting a sequin. Be sure to head down in the description box and take a look at everybody's take on this month's sketch. I love how this layout turned out. It is so pretty, and I am sure that everyone else's layout in the hop will be phenomenal too, because this hop is full, just packed full of amazing talent and inspiration. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.